what's going on, everyone? So we have more Batman news. Again, we just recently found out that Zoe Kravitz is playing Catwoman, and as I predicted, we are getting more casting confirmations for villains in the movie. Paul Dano has been cast as the Riddler. I think he makes a good fit for this role, and I'll tell you why. It sounds a little rude, and no offense to him, but he's always giving me a little bit of the creeps. Not to be mean, but he has that look to him. Like, if you're working with him, like in the office, you might kind of like, I don't know. He just has that thing, kind of like the guy who plays the Riddler in Gotham, the series. Oh, I can't remember his name, but he was a really good Riddler too, and he had that kind of weirdish, thing about him that people just thought he was a little different. And I don't mean that in an insulting, mean way, but for this character, I think it's the right kind of quality to have. So I think he's going to be a pretty good fit for this role. I haven't watched him in a movie in a while. The last thing I personally saw him in was Prisoners, and that was a crazy movie with Hugh Jackman. Crazy movie. And so, but I have seen him in other things too, so he's definitely recognizable. Solid fit for this role, I think. I think it's a good pick. And so, yeah, as I predicted, we are continuing to get casting confirmations for the Batman movie as it gets farther and farther along. He's the first villain that we've had a confirmation casting for. Jonah Hill, it was kind of floating around yesterday that he has exited the talks of being in the movie. There was rumors not too long ago that he was going to be a Penguin or some other villain in the movie. And I guess the rumor that he was in talks for the movie were somewhat correct, because the things that I saw floating around were that he decided not to do it because of something they didn't want to give him the amount of money that he wanted or something like that. They just couldn't come to an agreement for it. So I guess, that Jonah Hill thing kind of got shot down, although it looks like they were interested in him and that he was, maybe considering it, but at this point, not anymore. So I wonder who he was in talks to be playing, or if they were just kind of trying to get him involved and then see who they were going to cast him as. I'm not really sure. But I think we'll get more and more of this in the recent future as time, like I said, as this movie continues to go further along. I think most people are pretty happy with the casting decision so far. As I've said in my last couple of videos about this, there's always going to be people who are, oh yes, that's a really good pick, and then people are kind of in the middle, and people who just don't like it at all. So with any movie, especially superhero movies or comic book movies, for some reason the casting decisions are just really controversial most of the time, or divisive, or they cause a lot of conversation because people are so attached to these characters. And I think especially when it's characters that we've seen a ton of renditions of with different people playing them, it's just people get attached to one version and one actor. And I'm not gonna lie, I do the same thing. I don't want no one else playing Superman. I didn't want anyone else playing Batman, but I gotta say, if there was someone who was gonna be satisfying, I guess it's Robert Pattinson. So, I don't want anyone else playing out Wonder Woman. Like, I am attached to those people now, so I understand why people get sensitive about it. But, for the Riddler and like for Catwoman, we haven't had as many on-screen live action. And, Catwoman, the actual movie, even though it was Halle Berry and everyone loves her, it wasn't the best movie. Like, it was not. And so I know it was old, but there's plenty of old comic book or superhero movies that were good. So I guess saying it was old is not really the only reason it wasn't great, but I think this guy's going to be a good pick for the Riddler. I do think he fits that, like I said, that character, that kind of quirkiness thing that people find a little odd. And so, yeah, more casting confirmation news for for the Batman. I told you I still have Joker in my mind, but yeah, so we're getting a lot of these main characters confirmed for the movie. like I said before, I'm really excited to see set photos when that does happen. I'm definitely going to be excited to see what they do for suits and stuff like that. So, yeah, thanks for checking out the channel. If you're new, subscribe if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Check out my other material. Hit the like button. Tell me what you think about this casting decision. There were quite a few fan casts for like different villains in this movie. So, you know, people always have their idea of who they think would be a good fit for the character. But check out the links in the description. And thanks for watching, guys.